Edition of the On the Mic podcast is here. Bellator 291 coverage rolls on, and welcoming to the show for the first time ever. Hopefully, it's not the only time ever. A world-class BJJ standout heading over to Ireland to make her Bellator debut, and I'll be one of the first. I don't know how many interviews you've done leading up to this fight, so hopefully, I'll be the first to say happy early birthday. The one and only Jena Bishop. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Absolutely. So, quite the time to be in the business of Jena Bishop. Just first and foremost, what is it like being with Bellator after such a long, successful, lengthy grappling career, and then obviously getting started with LFA, skyrocketing through them? What's it like being with Bellator now?
I'm really excited. I guess I'll probably after this fight, I'll have a little bit more to say about that, but I'm just really grateful that they wanted me, that they gave me this opportunity. And I'm just excited to keep things moving.
Well, easy question here is, what do you want out of this? I mean, you're coming in with a lot of promise, a lot of potential. Is this something you kind of want to move quickly through? You want to work your way up through the division very quickly? What are you looking to get out of your time with Bellator?
Yeah, my intention is to definitely move quickly. I don't want to waste any time, and I definitely want to try and rise through the ranks as fast as possible and get to that top spot, because I don't think anybody does this just to be just average. So I want to be the best I can, and I want to be the best in the world. So that's what I'm striving for.
Well, I think a lot of that comes from your jiu-jitsu background and all the success you've had in that world. What was it for you in your mind, or with your coaches, your husband, no matter who it was, where you had this conversation about making the transition to MMA? And what was that decision and the process to make that decision like for you?
I feel like it wasn't, it was something that I had wanted to do for years. Jiu-jitsu was a huge focus of mine, but it's just, I think every jiu-jitsu athlete thinks I want to try MMA at least once, just to use my skills and see in a fight, because it just seems intriguing. But I finally I think looking at my career, I got to a point in jiu-jitsu where I'm I think I've done everything that I really want to do, and that I just wanted something new to challenge myself to see. It's I don't know, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for a long time, so it just changed directions, but it's still going to do that, and practice my jiu-jitsu and use my jiu-jitsu, but just see how effective it is, when I get in the cage. And it was something that my husband, I think, was the one that probably was deterring me for the longest time. It wasn't something that he was too excited about. And he's always said, I know that you would be good. And he's but there's always going to be somebody out there. And he's I just don't want to watch you get hurt or something like that. I'm I can get hurt in jiu-jitsu the same way. So even getting punched, I've gotten hit harder in jiu-jitsu training, sparring matches, on accident. I broke my nose in a jiu-jitsu match, getting headbutt on accident. So it's this, what else? There's not much more adding just people actually trying to punch me. I feel I get hit not as hard sometimes, because that things are coming at you, versus jiu-jitsu. It's accidental elbow to the face, and you're that's not fun. So at least I know that people are trying to punch me now.
Well, he's just a thoughtful, caring husband. He just wants what's best for you. He doesn't want to see anyone hit you. So props to him. But what was it like then after getting I know you've got 4 fights, in your professional career now, but what was it like after, let's just say, the first one? Was it a relief? All right, got it done. Obviously, you got a first round submission in LFA. So I'm pretty sure you're oh, felt kind of familiar, or was it a lot different? What were the immediate thoughts after your first professional MMA fight?
I think as soon as I got done, I went to my corners, all my coaches, and I was that was fun. That was my original thing. And I'm it is fun. It's scary, but it's also exhilarating, and I like the challenge. So I'm just like having a good time. Like even after my second fight was like, that one was like a lot more challenging, and it was like a pretty big step up in competition, and I was still just like, it was still a lot of fun, like even though it wasn't as smooth as the first one. But yeah, I'm like, I just like enjoying it.
Well, obviously you come with such a historic background and just so much championship pride, in all that you do. And some of that kind of transitions into outside of the cage and doing the Not Fighting podcast. I was looking back at what you were doing. Is it coming back? I mean, what's going on with the podcast here?
Oh man, I don't know. I'm surprised at how many people like want me to bring it back or want us to bring it back, but it's just it's honestly, it's like, it's a time issue. It's like my husband like works full time. He's like busy running a company, and then I'm training all the time. And so it was something we were doing for fun. And then it was like, we don't have the energy to put into it and make it like as good as we would like to. So it might come back. It
Well,
probably will.
you're talking to a podcast host who knows how difficult it is to keep it going all the time. So
Yeah.
trust me, you're not saying anything that I don't know. But I will say this on this side of things, and I don't have to tell you anything you already know, but it's something that I think the MMA world, especially, I don't have my hands too far deep in the jiu-jitsu world, but in the MMA world, we need that. Like, we need the Not Fighting podcast. Fans and even media people alike want to have that other side where we can get to know you as a person and an individual, and all the things that, I talked to Norbert Noveni Jr. this week, who's on the same card as you. And, he did a vlog of like 12 minutes on his YouTube channel just about what he eats during fight camp. And I'm sitting and he's dancing. And now I'm doing an interview talking to him about his dancing while he's doing his vlog. So these are the things that I know, me specifically, some people in this world want to just talk technique and training and fights with you.
Yeah.
I'd rather the audience get to know Jena Bishop, the person, as well as the fighter. But with all that being said, what was kind of behind it? Obviously, I know, it was fun, and but I think your head and your brain, along with your husband's brain, was in the right place, because the MMA world and just the entire world needed to get to know Jena Bishop, especially as you made this jump over to MMA.
Yeah, I think we wanted to do it just because there's a lot. I think it was just like, I wanted to have a different take on like a different perspective on things, like inside, like from like I guess like inside jiu-jitsu and MMA, like those kinds of things. Like I feel like most of the podcasts and things out there, it's like it was, especially in jiu-jitsu, it was kind of very like one-sided. It's only highlighting a few things, like, or a few athletes, and it kind of was like very redundant. There's there's obviously some people that do a really good job in the jiu-jitsu community with different things, but we just kind of wanted to just like have a little bit of a different spin on it. And we have so much experience with jiu-jitsu. I think people always like want to like pick me and my husband's brain about different things and our perspective. And so it's like, it kind of gives you the opportunity just to put it out there and like, I don't know, like have fun too.
Yeah,
make fun of a little bit of the things that happen inside the community.
Which is exactly what, like I said, what we want to hear. One question here for you: what has been your favorite difference between the two? I mean, we could talk about the technique, we could talk about what happens in sparring and training and in the actual competition. But for you, when it's all said and done, when the fight's over compared to when your jiu-jitsu matches are over, what has been your favorite difference between the two?
I'm not really sure. I think for me, jiu-jitsu, like I got to the point where like the tournaments and like honestly, it's probably just actually knowing exactly like who I'm gonna fight and when I'm gonna fight is kind of nice. It's like, if most of my jiu-jitsu career, it's like you're fighting in tournaments, and then it's like I've had so many experiences where you're gonna fight at round 1, and like then we get there and it's like I actually didn't fight until like 5, and you're just waiting around. It's like there's an actual like a lot more structure with it. And then when it comes to competing and like actually fighting, you just have a lot more possibilities and a lot more options. It's like there's less rules, I guess. Because it's not like, it's like I don't have to just like worry about like scoring points or like, there's like these little like ticky-tack things that will win you a fight in jiu-jitsu, like win the match by like one little advantage. But it's like, did that make a difference did I feel like that one thing made them better than me? It's like, no. But I think in MMA, there's a lot more that you can kind of make things more decisive. I don't know.
No, I like it. And obviously, knowing you were born and raised in Missouri, you moved out to San Diego. I've heard in other interviews you brag about the San Diego weather. I'm not here to talk to you about that. Being from Chicago myself, I think, us Midwesterners, we get it, right?
Yep.
We understand. But
Yep.
When talking about your career, there's so many fighters and jiu-jitsu, grapplers that have talked about what a move for them has done for their career. So when I say just San Diego, what does that mean to your professional career, whether it be grappling or MMA?
Yeah, I mean, San Diego, aside from just being an amazing place, was like a big, like that was something that we wanted to do because from like a professional standpoint, like it's like the mecca of jiu-jitsu in the US. It's like there's so much good jiu-jitsu, and pre-pandemic, it's like all of the major tournaments and stuff are were like held in California. So it's like you're really close to all that. And then everybody would come train before the big tournament. So you get like a lot of more exposure to different styles and games and different training partners. And it's, kind of that way too with MMA. Like I think being in San Diego has made it a lot easier for me to make the transfer into MMA because I had met and was surrounded by the right people that like kind of made it easy to push me into that platform.
Well, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Just a few more questions here for you, and I'll dive right in here. Bellator 291. You being from the States, when I say this, I've been trying to kind of explain it in the best way I can to all the Irish fighters. But you being from the States, you know just how big the Super Bowl is. And for my money, Bellator Dublin events are the fighting Super Bowl for me each and every year. The crowd, the atmosphere. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear yourself think, let alone hear your corner come fight night. But how excited are you to go overseas, compete in Ireland? You're taking on Elina Kallionidou. How excited are you to go make your Bellator debut in probably the best atmosphere and venue that they hold events in?
I'm so stoked. Like the moment they got the call, they're like, "Hey, this girl in Ireland." I was like, "Heck yes!" Like that seems so dope. I'm like, I don't know, and I don't. Everyone keeps telling me about like the fans in Ireland are the best, and it's like I would expect that just that it would be a great environment and I just keep hearing more and more. So I'm so pumped that I get the opportunity to make my debut in Ireland. It's like, it's pretty sick.
Yeah, super jealous for many reasons. And that is one of them, one of the biggest reasons. But all jokes aside, what do you expect? We talked about what you want to get out of Bellator, but what do you expect to show and what should fans know about you heading into this matchup on February 25th?
I mean, I expect to really just showcase like all my skills. Like I want to be a really well-rounded fighter, but I don't ever want to shy away from like my strengths. Like 15 years of jiu-jitsu and training in that, it's like I can't deny that. Like that's what I want to showcase, just what like high level jiu-jitsu really looks like and how well it can work in the MMA like arena.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm very excited for that as well. Obviously, you've gotten two of your finishes by submission. You've gone to decision twice as well, one of them being a split. I'm curious because we love the knockouts, we love the submissions, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. I truly enjoy, especially having the chance to talk to fighters after a decision, whether it be a winner or loss, because from what I've experienced is fighters learn so much more about themselves and take away so much more in a fight when it goes to decision. So do you feel that you have been tested in these decision wins you've picked up and you've learned a lot so early on in your MMA career?
Yeah, I think like that second fight was a decision, and it was like I feel like I learned and I got better throughout the fight. Like as the fight went on, I feel like it was like learning on the job for me. And then it just also just it proved a lot to me. Like I feel like I proved a lot to myself and not only like everyone else. Like I'm not just like some jiu-jitsu person that's gonna crumble if I can't like get it to the ground. Like I can't do the things I want to. Like I think that I just like proved to myself. I'm like, no, like I'm doing the right thing. Like I'm on the right path. Like, and I'm making the right decisions, and I can handle it.
Yeah, yes, you absolutely can. And I know you're not looking to waste any time with Bellator. So what are your plans then for 2023 if all goes according to plan on February 25th? We'll start there.
Yeah, I mean, like hopefully come out on the 25th with the win. That's the plan. And then, get as many fights in as I can. Like I would love to fight at least, I'm looking hopefully 3 times a year. That would be what I would look for. I want to stay active as much as possible. I'm always training. So as long as I'm healthy, I'm training and waiting for the call for the next one.
Just 2 more questions here for you, Jenna. With that being said, would it be fair to say you want look at the top 10 rankings by the end of the year or early next year? How quickly would you like to start competing against the division's best?
I mean, as soon as I can, I guess. Like, I don't like I don't mean that in like I don't know. I want to test myself. I don't want to sit back and just like try and take easy fights and that. Like I want to be fighting the best. I want to climb the ranks. So yeah.
Well, super excited for you to make your debut. If you don't mind, I'm going to plug your social media for you. I know we're not getting the podcast right now, but subscribe to her YouTube channel, The Bishops, the Not Fighting Podcast, and Bishop BJJ on YouTube. And then Jena Bishop, that's Jena with 1 N, Bishop BJJ on Instagram. Hopefully, this is not the first and last time we ever talk. I would love to talk to you after your fight. Super excited to have you a part of the Bellator roster. And just overall, what should fans be looking forward to the most? I know you want to showcase what you're best at. I know you're on a kind of fast track here to the top and you want to compete against the very best, but coming in to such a well-known and beloved promotion like Bellator, what should everyone know before the 25th?
I mean, just know that I want to like fight and I want to make it exciting. I don't want to just be like a boring grappler. Like I think a lot of people get. Like I want to I like to scrap. Like I don't mind when things get dirty. So like I want to have some exciting fights and get some good wins and some there's a couple fun submissions that I like to do that I'm like dying to try. Like I'm like, please let me have the opportunity to get this in a fight. So hopefully just see some exciting fights.
Well, Bellator 291 is stacked with exciting fights, and that includes your Bellator debut at Bellator 291 on February 25th. Jena Bishop, like I said, hopefully it's not the first and last time we talk. I would love to have you back on the podcast again. Wishing you all the best in Dublin, Ireland on the 25th.
Thank you.